Hello out there everyone, this is Kyle. I'm back with PlayStation Vita video blog number 3. So here we are, got a lot of things to talk about today. Let's see what's on the docket. First we're going to talk about the Disgaea instruction manual. I've actually had a lot of requests to show off the Disgaea instruction manual. We'll get to that first. Next up after that will be battery talk. Everyone keeps asking me how the battery is. I've tried to respond to individual people as much as I can or could, but I'll talk about it a little bit today. After that, I have a review up for you. It's going to be Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 for the Vita, of course. That will be the review for today. After that, I'm going to talk about some upcoming demos. News has been released for at least 3 demos that should be on PSN, Vita PSN by the end of the month. Hooray for that, love those demos. And then I'm going to talk about some upcoming games. I briefly touched on a few of them at the end of my last video. Hopefully I'll have a little bit more time to talk about each of those because I'm excited for a few games that are coming out end of this month, beginning of next month. The first thing I want to say is Week 3 sales for the Vita were supposed to come up a few hours ago, but they still haven't been up. I wanted to talk about that very first, see where the Vita's at on Week 3. If you remember last video, I talked about Week 2 only pushed something like 72K. People are expecting even lower than that. Obviously, it should be even lower than that. It's not going to shoot up for any particular reason, but we'll see. Some people say anything under 50K would be bad news. We'll see. At the 3DS, at its lowest point, was only pushing about 20K a week. If it dropped all the way to 20K, that could be troublesome though. So we'll just see where the units are at, the sales are at for the the PlayStation Vita units. Again, I wanted to talk about it here at the beginning and can't because the numbers haven't been released yet. But if they come out soon, I'll probably put up video blog number 4 pretty quick for you guys because it's definitely a big talking point there. Let's get right into it. The Disgaea 3. I showed off the case before. Some people said they wanted to see it again. Here it is. I love the art for this game. I love the art for a lot of the Nipponichi games. So yeah, here's the case. The big thing about this game is that it's the only game I've picked up so far that included an instruction manual. And not just a short, little instruction manual. This thing is 37 pages. So there's the cover of the manual there. There's the back. Obviously, it fits right inside the case there, so you can get a feel for the size. Yeah, I'll just flip through. You can look at it a little bit. Full color, awesome. Beautiful instruction manual. Lots of art throughout. Lots of screenshots. Advertisement in the back here. But yeah, it's basically everything you'd want in an instruction manual. I think it's kind of funny these days where gaming has gone so digital here. Back in the day, you wanted extras with your games, and that could have meant a million different things. Now, an extra with a game is going to be an instruction manual almost, We'll see how it goes with this generation and everything. But yeah, extras these days are all digital downloads, which is just crazy. There's so many games out there now where the extras are extra things you can download. I think it's gone a little bit too far. But if companies want to keep including full color big instruction manuals like that, I'll keep buying the games because I think that's an awesome thing. Even though it's considered an extra these days, which is kind of crazy, that's an awesome thing to have with a game, especially when no other games really have it. So yeah, very nice. Next up, let's jump into battery talk. Everyone asks me, hey, how long does the Vita battery last? It lasts a lot longer than the 3DS battery. Shh, don't tell anyone. No, yeah, it lasts quite a while. When I got Monster Hunter 3G for my 3DS, I played it a lot, obviously, but as part of that playing, I clocked my 3DS battery. And this is just my settings, what I used. For the 3DS, it was pretty much close to default. Didn't mess with the brightness too much. Didn't mess with too much else. I did have Street Pass and all that kind of stuff turned on. But basically at default. And with the 3DS itself, I was getting barely 3 hours, if 3 hours. I was clocking it by my Monster Hunter clock. But yeah, I was not getting a lot of time. Everyone knows the battery's bad on it, so I'm not trying to diss it here. I'm just trying to compare. The Vita, I did a full battery test. Basically, what I mean, not full, but a full powered battery test. I turned everything on basically and put the brightness at max. So I turned Bluetooth on. I turned Wi-Fi on. 3G was on. brightness at max again, I did some online play during the time trial. Basically everything that you could possibly imagine was turned on there. And I broke 4 hours easily. I think I ended up at about 4 hours and 25 minutes or so. And that was with everything on. That was my first real test of the battery. You might be saying, wow, that's not very long, but that's full blast. That's, on, period. 4.5 hours, that's pretty good. So then I did a second clock in, basically with my settings, which is about 50% brightness, Bluetooth off. I still leave Wi-Fi and 3G, all that stuff on. Yeah, and you're looking at pushing 6 hours, which to me is amazing. But it kind of makes sense. The Vita has a very flat back. You can see that they got much of a nice battery in there. I think the Vita battery, I'm not looking at stats right now, this is off the top of my head, I think it's around 2700 mAh, whereas the 3DS battery is only around 1300 mAh. Again, don't quote me on that, that's something right about where it is. Obviously the Vita needs a much more powerful battery for the hardware itself, lots of multitasking and lots of stuff that the Vita does. The 3DS doesn't quite need as powerful a battery, but I believe it is. It's about twice the power in there. So yeah, it lasts quite a while. It's definitely a pleasant surprise. That is a very nice time for a battery. I haven't really had an issue with it, whereas when I was playing Monster Hunter on my 3DS the first couple weeks, I didn't even have a long enough charge to take it to work and back and play it on the train. Some days I go a little farther than others, and I like to play it during my lunch break and things like that. But yeah, crazy. The 3DS didn't last very long, and the Vita, that's definitely a point where you got to concede it to the Vita. The battery life on that thing is much better, and it's very nice, very pleasant surprise there. Very happy about that. Okay, so yeah, if you have any further questions about the battery, feel free to let me know anytime. I'll try and get back to you as soon as I can. Next up, I have another review. This will be my third review. This is Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. My first review was Lord of Apocalypse. I gave it an 8. My second review, which was not done in a video blog itself, it was done separately in its own little video blog style video, but I gave it an 8 out of 10. Don't read too much into the scores. These are kind of my personal preference scores here. This is a very hard game for me to score, but people were asking for a score for it, for a review for it. So first of all, I'll just tell you what it is and what it isn't. Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 on Vita. What it is, almost a perfectly faithful port to the console counterparts, and I mean almost perfect. The only thing that's different is sometimes the backgrounds don't move quite as much. People first said they aren't moving at all. That's not true. There is definitely some movement going on in the backgrounds. Some stages you don't even notice it. Other stages have a bit of that ghost town feel. But in a game as crazy as Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, I don't have much time to look at the backgrounds anyway. So that doesn't bother me much, but I know it bothers people out there. So there you go. The backgrounds aren't quite as good. Frame rate is totally fluid. Basically, yeah, the game plays exactly like the console counterparts. Extras that aren't included in the console versions, not much. The only thing really that I can think of is that there is a touchscreen mode where you can use the touchscreen to control your character. It's kind of an easy mode. And when you're playing online, you can make sure that you play against people who don't do that. You can seek matches where people can't do that, because obviously it gives them an advantage. But for people who are total noobs at fighting games like this, yeah, it might help them out. I didn't use it at all, to be honest, but I saw a video about it. So yeah, now that that's out of the way, again, like I said, a complete, faithful recreation, not even recreation, but a faithful version to what's already out there. Now, having said that, I don't think I need to say too much else about the game. If you don't know what the game is, you can look about a million places now. Games out in the States for everything except for the Vita, obviously. It's a very, very fun, frantic fighting game. There's quite a bit of depth there. The characters aren't quite as balanced as you would like them to be. The pros usually end up picking pretty typical teams, although not always the same. There are a lot of characters in there. I believe there are around 50. Which brings me to a negative point. Jill and Shumagorath are not included. This is Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, Capcom. You need to include everything in here. You really do. If you didn't know, they were optional characters in the original Marvel vs. Capcom 3. You had to buy them off of PlayStation Network. I'm not sure how much they cost in the States. I'm going to guess $5 each. because here in Japan they're 500 yen each, which is more like $6.50 each. So I go and buy the game. The game costs me about $45, and then I have to spend another $12.50 to add 2 characters. Yeah, it's bullshit. If you don't know, Disgaea here, this is a port of a PlayStation 3 game. This game had a shitload of downloadable content on the PS3, and a lot of it I hear was pretty expensive. But this version, this Disgaea on PS Vita, includes every bit of that downloadable content for free on the cartridge. This is the way Capcom should have done it. They didn't. This does not include those characters. It does not include a lot of the costumes and stuff that you have to buy online if you want them, which is bullshit. I think that's really stupid. And again, you might call me crazy for considering that such a heavy point, but to me it is. I'm sick of all this ticky-tacky bullshit that these publishers are adding on to the game costs. You gotta buy everything online these days. I support downloadable content if it's months down the road and I want to get more out of a game, but when this is shit that should have been in the game at release, yeah, I don't really stand for that. It's garbage, basically. So I'm not gonna buy Jill and Shumagoroth. I'm not gonna do that. I almost regret buying the game, period, because first of all, I was supporting the fact that this game really, for Vita, it's a different story because obviously Marvel vs. Capcom 3 never came out for Vita. But basically this game, the ultimate version was supposed to just be downloadable content for Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and instead they released it as a completely new game and charged a lot more for it than they should have. So anyway, sorry, I went off on a little tangent there. The game is very, very fun. If you like fighting games, you will like this a lot. I find it hard to grade a fighting game with a score because you either like it and you get into it and you get deep into it, or you really don't. I got pretty deep into this thing. I'm not very good at it still, but I have done most of what the game has to offer. Online play is very, very smooth. I was surprised by that, but it's very nice. It's kind of a ghost town sometimes here in Japan. It seems like everyone went the Blay Blue. I don't want to keep screwing that up. I know the fanboys will get after me. Everyone went the Blay Blue route at launch instead of Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. So every time I get online, there's only a few people to play with. But I do like the game a lot. But for the aforementioned points, I'm going to give this game a 7. A 7 out of 10 for being an incredibly deep, fun fighting game. If you stick with it and you get pretty hardcore about it, there's a lot there. There might not seem to be much on a first playthrough. But there's actually a lot of content and a lot of things to do. I don't like the fact that Capcom is trying to nickel and dime their customers for 2 characters that should have just been unlockable in the game in the first place, especially when this is the ultimate version and those characters have existed since well before this came out. So I wish they would have included that. So there you go. My third review, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, gets a 7, but screw the score. Don't worry about that too much. The point is, if you like fighting games, you should probably get it. If you're not into fighting games very much, I probably would not recommend this. If you're looking for a game to play online with your friends, and you think fighting games are alright, or you like fighting games, get this. Very nice. I would recommend it to those kind of people, but I can't recommend it to everyone. Yeah, based on the fact that what Capcom's kind of doing there, as well as just general points with the game that you can read about elsewhere. Yeah, so I hope I didn't go out too far on a tangent there. Next up, we quickly we'll talk about upcoming demos and upcoming games. So first of all, there are 3 demos that I've heard about officially upcoming for the Vita. I believe January 17th, so in about a week and a half, we have a Wipeout demo coming, and the game is releasing the day after or 2 days after that. Very excited for that. I like Wipeout a lot. The music gets me pumped. This game is not going to be 60 frames per second, which has a lot of people very, very depressed. But I'll give it a chance because, yeah, I like to try new games. So a Wipeout demo, we'll definitely check that out, and if the game is good, I will buy it. Other than that, the other demos, one is for Sumioni, which is not out here yet in Japan. If you don't know, this is a game made by Acquire. It looks very, very similar. I'm not going to say a copy. People are saying it's a copy, but it looks very, very similar to Okami on the PlayStation 2. I think it was on the Wii as well. That kind of art style, calligraphy, Japanese art style. So yeah, it could be very interesting. So I will definitely get some footage up for that. And the other demo coming up is for Shinobido 2, which was a launch game. You play as a ninja. It's kind of like Tenchu. If you ever played Tenchu back on the PlayStation, it's actually made by the original Tenchu developers. So I would highly recommend that one to people who are into Tenchu. I haven't actually played it myself, but I watched my friend play it for a while. Looked pretty cool. So anyway, yeah, on to that. The demo will be out. I don't think they've given a date for that demo yet. Sumioni is January 25th, by the way, I believe, from what I hear. I don't believe they've given a date for the Shinobito 2 demo yet, but we'll see when that comes out. I'll definitely get footage up for that too. And that's another one that I was waiting to see on as a launch title. If it's fun, I might end up picking it up. So we'll see. So we have those 3 demos to look forward to. So look forward to some more gameplay footage coming up from me. And then upcoming games. I have 3 games that are upcoming that I'm definitely going to buy. So you'll get my impressions as well as some gameplay footage of these 3 games. First of all, on January 26th, we have Tales of Innocence R. What this is, it is basically a port. It's not a remake, but it's a port of a DS game called Tales of Innocence. It's a part of the Tales series. I'm sure you've heard about it, Japanese RPG series. Tales of Innocence, as far as I know, only came out in Japan. I'm not sure if this one has been confirmed for the US or not yet, but it's basically a port of the DS game with slightly better graphics. They're not going to blow anyone away. People have actually been complaining about the graphics a lot, but I never played the DS game in the first place, and this is kind of a, Tales of Innocence R. It's there. They're going to add new dungeons and all that kind of stuff. So I like the Tales series a lot, so I'm happy to have a chance to play it on Vita. So I'm not going to complain about the graphics or anything too much. I will definitely check it out. Next up, Ragnarok Odyssey is coming out on February 2nd here in Japan. I'm a big Ragnarok Online fan, or at least I was a big Ragnarok Online fan back in the day. It was definitely one of my first MMOs. I think I first started playing it when I was 13 or 14, a long, long time ago. But I'm very excited for this one. This is actually made by, who is it made by? Game Arts, excuse me, I had a brain hiccup there. It's made by Game Arts, who I have been a very big fan of for a very long time. So hopefully it's going to be a good game. This is very similar to kind of Lord of Apocalypse in a way, that kind of 4-player, free-for-all PlayStation Phantasy Star meets Monster Hunter mashup there. So we'll see how that goes. I'm very excited for that one. It looks very colorful, and it takes after the Ragnarok Online lore, with some of the job classes and things like that included. So very excited for that one. Definitely pick it up and I'll show it off to you guys. And finally, not much needs to be said about this one. Gravity Days, February 9th. So each of these games is about a week apart. Gravity Days, February 9th. If you haven't yet, check out my full playthrough of the demo. This game is going to be amazing. I've already decided, at least I hope. Barring some completely catastrophic event, this game is going to be just completely amazing. It's a bit of a genre defier. You can put it into action adventure right away, but judging from the video at the end of the demo, there's going to be some time trial stuff in there, and lots of just other things to do. This one is going to probably be the killer app on Vita that hopefully will sell systems, and even if it doesn't, this will probably come out as one of the most underrated games of the year. I'm basing all of this off of my playthrough of the demo, but it blew my socks off. Totally excited for that one. So yeah, very excited. Yeah, so that's it for PlayStation Vita Video Blog 3. I hope you guys have enjoyed. The tentative schedule, just so everyone knows, I'm going to try and get a new one of these blogs up every Thursday. That's Thursday, kind of Thursday evening Japan time, maybe around 6 o'clock. So they should be up by Thursday morning for those of you in the States when you wake up. Check me out. And yeah, I will get a lot more gameplay videos coming up for you soon. If you haven't, check out my review yesterday that I posted yesterday or the day before of Uncharted for the Vita. I also have a gameplay video up of Uncharted, and we'll hopefully get more of those up soon. Thanks as always for watching. I broke 2,300 subscribers. It blows my mind. I'm trying to get back to all the tweets and messages I've received. So if you've sent me one and I haven't got back, I'm sorry. Maybe try sending it again. I'm not trying to ignore anybody. Trying to spread the love. Anyway, so yeah, let me know if there's any questions that you guys have. I'll try and get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks a lot for watching. I really appreciate it, you guys. And I hope that you had a nice New Year's. It's really, really cold here in Osaka, but I hope it's really warm wherever you are. Look forward to the Vita coming out where you guys are at. I think most of you only have another month or so. So anyway, yeah, I'll see you very soon for PlayStation Vita video blog number 4. This has been number 3. I will see you guys later.